On Sundays in April at the 9:30 Adult Christian Education Hour, we'll be exploring Art of the Resurrection. Last week we followed the Gospel for Sunday and looked at art depicting Christ's appearance to St. Thomas the Apostle. Both in art and in the sermons, I talked about the distance between Thomas and Jesus and how faith allows that distance to be filled with longing and with desire. The distance can be full and meaningful. We explore more distance this week as we look at art that depicts Christ's appearance to Mary Magdalene on Easter morning. You remember the story. Mary arrives at the tomb to find the stone rolled away. When she looks inside, there are two men, who she later understands are angels. After asking them what they've done with the body of Jesus, she turns around and sees a man standing there. It's Jesus, but she doesn't recognize him. Jesus says to her, "Woman, why are you weeping? Whom are you looking for?" And Scripture says, supposing him to be the gardener, Mary Magdalene says to him, "Sir, if you have carried him away, tell me where you have laid him, and I will take him away." Jesus then says to her, "Mary." She turns and says to him in Hebrew, "Rabboni," which means teacher. Jesus then says to her, "Do not hold on to me, because I have not yet ascended to the Father." The Latin phrase for "do not hold on to me" or "do not touch me" is noli me tangere, and that phrase is often used to describe the art that depicts this story, this interaction between Mary Magdalene and Jesus. One of the most beautiful is this fresco by Fra Angelico. A subgenre of the noli me tangere art is that which actually shows Jesus as a gardener. I love these. Sometimes Jesus has a shovel or a hoe or a floppy gardener's hat. Later in May, we'll be reading a book that combines theology with gardening, and we'll talk a little about meeting Christ in the garden. But for this Sunday, we'll be sticking to the interaction with Mary Magdalene. The distance between Mary and Jesus is compelling, I think, especially as we continue to think so much about distance in our relationships, in our movements, social distancing, physical distancing during the pandemic. We know that distance creates safety and sanitary conditions, but we also long for connection. Distance from God doesn't seem like a good thing at all. And so why might Jesus deliberately put distance between himself and Mary Magdalene? We'll explore these and other questions this Sunday morning, both in person and online through Zoom. I hope you'll join us on April 18th as we explore this story of the interaction between Mary Magdalene and Jesus and contemplate meeting God even through distance.